Football fans love a good reunion.
On social media, which neighborhood is Aaron Rodgers moving to? Someone tweeted. Devonte Adams quote tweeted, "Mine."
Some parties are better off together, so here are 9 NFL reunions we want to see happen in 2023. Aaron Rodgers and Devonte Adams. There is no telling how much more prolific the Green Bay Packers offense could have been if they found a way to keep Devonte Adams in 2022. But the All-Pro wideout wanted to play with former college pal Derek Carr in Las Vegas, so the Packers honored his wish by trading Adams to the Raiders in exchange for 2022 and 2023 first-round picks. Rodgers and the Pack didn't really get it going on offense until the final month of the regular season. While Adams had another excellent season in year 1 with Vegas, the Raiders underperformed mightily and missed the playoffs. It just feels like Rodgers and Adams are better off staying together. With the Raiders planning to cut ties with Derek Carr, could they be prompted to move out Adams as well? If so, hopefully, Green Bay will explore the possibility of a Rodgers-Adams reunion. Or what if Rodgers decides he wants to play in Vegas after all? Remember, they were on his short list of teams when he asked the Packers for a trade in the 2021 offseason. With Adams there, maybe he'd feel extra incentive to revisit a trade demand. Rodgers was at his best with Adams and vice versa. Whether it be in Green Bay or in Vegas, we really just want to see these two back together after 1 year apart. Jimmy Garoppolo and the New England Patriots. Let's just imagine for a minute here that the Patriots do decide to bring in a veteran QB to at least challenge Mac Jones. If a Brady reunion isn't gonna happen, and let's be real, it probably won't, why not Jimmy G back to the team that drafted him? Garoppolo won't be going back to San Francisco in 2023. Kyle Shanahan can comfortably roll with Trey Lance and Brock Purdy. Garoppolo's injury history will also limit his market, so he's better off joining a team that will allow him to compete for the QB1 job. Garoppolo was supposed to eventually succeed Tom Brady in Foxborough, but the latter fought off Father Time and all that stuff. So Belichick wound up dealing Garoppolo to the 49ers ahead of the 2017 trade deadline. If Belichick wants to get bold, he should bring back the 2014 second-round pick and have him compete with Jones for the starting job. Even if the latter wins it, Garoppolo would be great quarterback insurance. Jones versus Garoppolo in a QB training camp battle? Yeah, that'd be quite the storyline to follow. Jamal Adams and the New York Jets. After 3 seasons, the Jets look like the clear winners of the Jamal Adams trade. The 3-time Pro Bowler just hasn't been the same dynamic game-changing safety for the Seattle Seahawks the way that they had hoped. Seattle was able to recoup some of that lost draft capital from the Adams deal in the Russell Wilson trade with the Denver Broncos, so they can now afford to cut their losses. GM John Schneider reshaped the secondary by hitting home runs with the Kobe Bryant and Tariq Woolen draft picks. Ryan Neal took his game to a Pro Bowl level in 2023, and Quandre Diggs remains one of the NFL's more underrated safeties. In other words, Seattle does not need Jamal Adams anymore. We would love to see this guy patrolling the secondary with Ahmad Sauce Gardner, who looks like the next big thing at cornerback. Adams had his best days with the Jets, and his skill set makes him a better fit in a Robert Saleh coach defense compared to Pete Carroll's. Stefan Gilmore and the Buffalo Bills. The 2012 first-round pick spent his first 5 seasons with the Bills, even earning a Pro Bowl nod there in 2016. The 2019 Defensive Player of the Year isn't elite anymore, but he does remain one of the NFL's smartest and more reliable man-to-man cover corners. He had a very good 2022 season on a disappointing Indianapolis Colts team, and if they're smart, Indy will trade Gilmore while his value is still high. 2023 will be the final season of Gilmore's contract, and he should push to join a team that's in win-now mode. His old team, the Bills, feel like the perfect landing spot. Buffalo is in great position to compete for several more Super Bowls. That said, they could use some cornerback help to complement superstar Tre'Davious White and youngster Kyer Elam. Gilmore and White would be a scary good cornerback duo, one that would strike a lot of fear into the hearts of the many prolific offenses in the AFC. Bringing back Gilmore for a mid-round pick just feels like the ideal move for all parties. Of course, assuming that Indianapolis is open for business. The bottom line, the Bills need Gilmore, and Gilmore needs the Bills. Odell Beckham Jr. and the New York Giants. OBJ may have won his Super Bowl 56 ring with the Los Angeles Rams in the 2021 season, but make no mistake, Beckham was always at his best, and on a Hall of Fame trajectory for that matter, when he was with the Giants. The Giants took 4 years to reform into a playoff team after trading Beckham to the Cleveland Browns, and as we all know, the former Pro Bowler didn't exactly light it up in Cleveland either. The G-Men were one of the few teams Beckham visited late in the 2022 regular season as he sought a new contract. Well, the Giants are back to contending again, and they have a gaping hole at the receiver position. In other words, Beckham going back to the Meadowlands is the perfect reunion scenario. Beckham flourished as the go-to guy in the Giants offense. Well, the G-Men simply don't have any other receivers who could possibly take the WR1 role away from Beckham. He won his ring in La La Land, and now it's time to go back home. The Giants need Beckham, and maybe Brian Daboll is the guy who can help OBJ regain that star-like potential. Hey, I'm just saying, you don't know unless you try. Tyran Mathieu and the Kansas City Chiefs. Mathieu admitted that he was heartbroken over having to move on from the Chiefs, and understandably so. It was rather surprising that they didn't re-sign the All-Pro safety who helped them to a Super Bowl 54 championship and 2 AFC championship banners over his 3 seasons there. To the Chiefs' credit, they got good production in year 1 out of Justin Reed, whom they signed in free agency to replace Mathieu. And though he had a solid 2022 campaign with the New Orleans Saints, Mathieu never once looked like the bona fide star that we saw in KC from 2019 to 2021. The Saints are up against the cap and need to rebuild. Mathieu never wanted to leave KC in the first place, and the Chiefs need some more help in their secondary. Mathieu was the perfect chess piece in Steve Spagnuolo's defense, flashing in coverage and doing plenty of damage as a pass rusher as well. New Orleans would probably be happy to move out Mathieu and clear up cap space as the painful rebuild begins. So, if you're the Chiefs, why not bring back the All-Pro safety for a discounted price? A Mathieu-Reed safety duo would be scary for the rest of the AFC. And he just might help improve a pass defense that was mediocre at best in 2022. Jameis Winston and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Saints obviously had very little faith in Winston, hence why they used Andy Dalton as their primary starter in 2022. If you're starting Dalton over Winston, that truly says it all. GM Jason Light will need to find a veteran QB rather than try the draft plus develop route. Yes, he threw 30 picks in 2019, but don't forget that Winston also led the NFL in passing yards that same year under Bucs offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich. Winston airing it out again to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin? Hey, Tampa could do a lot worse at QB. If the Saints decide to move on from Winston, Tampa should be all over this. They have to trust that Winston will have learned better ball security skills under Sean Payton during his 3-year tenure in New Orleans. To me, it's a risk worth taking, pure and simple. Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins. Deshaun Watson's 2017 rookie season was cut short due to a torn ACL, so we only got to see 2 years of him and DeAndre Hopkins together in Houston. In 2020, then Texans head coach and de facto GM Bill O'Brien committed the ultimate facepalmer by trading Hopkins to the Arizona Cardinals. Hopkins has been a star in Arizona, but the team may want to unload his contract with a giant retooling period on the horizon. The Cardinals can trust 2022 trade pickup Marquise Hollywood Brown to step up as the new WR1 too. The Houston Texans traded Watson to the Cleveland Browns in the 2022 offseason, more than a year after he requested a trade. The 2017 first-round pick greatly struggled after coming back from suspension, and Browns GM Andrew Berry needs to stay aggressive in improving the offense around his QB. Amari Cooper is still at the top of his game, but Watson could use another playmaking wideout to help him regain his Pro Bowl-like form. If Arizona is willing to trade him, the Browns should look to reunite Watson and Hopkins. These two were at their best while they were together after all. And given his age and high salary, Hopkins shouldn't cost a whole lot now. Geno Smith and the New York Jets. We wouldn't be shocked if the Seahawks decided to re-sign Geno Smith, who enjoyed a career year in the Pacific Northwest in 2022. But Pete Carroll and John Schneider might feel tempted to find an upgrade with all that draft capital. Well, if Smith does hit the open market, the Jets could have his number on speed dial. Zach Wilson, Joe Flacco, and Mike White were not the answer for New York at quarterback. If this team had even half-decent QB play, they would have ended their 12-year playoff drought. Sure, Smith's play left a lot to be desired in his first run with the Jets. Gang Green also had practically no talent on offense during Smith's tenure as the starter though, and Rex Ryan wasn't exactly the best fit for Smith as the head coach. But the Jets have a respected head coach in Robert Saleh and a nice set of weapons now, starting with Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, and Corey Davis. The Jets also have one of the best defenses in all of football, so Smith would only have to be a game manager for this team to have a chance. Smith and the Jets are a perfect match. He is exactly what they need, and they're the perfect landing spot if he ends up leaving Seattle. File this one under another NFL reunion that we would all love to see in 2023. But what other NFL reunions do you want to see happen in 2023? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.